is wrong on the post.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me check it with the
Uh,
team.
it's wrong. It's written Lavina, so I mean it's Bhavya.
Yeah, actually, I'll get it checked by my team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are live now.
Let's do this.
So, hey everyone, I welcome you all to today's event. And we are back with another podcast of Chapter 1 series. And today we are going to talk on Hakuna Matata. And this event is sponsored by Just Travel, who are a travel company traveling without any boundaries. And they had started their operations in 2015. So, our sponsors have given a giveaway, and it is 5 coupons of 500 each, which will be handled to any of the random participants. So I would like to ask Malav to give us a brief description on Hakuna Matata.
Okay, so before I start, I'm not turning on my video just because of the internet issues. So please everyone insist with that. I'm really sorry. Okay, so Hakuna Matata is, if I talk about the origin of this word, it is from East Africa and it is in, the language is Swahili. Swahili is the language from where it is taken, and it basically means that no worries. Hakuna Matata. The reason why we have named this session as Hakuna Matata is only just because we as travelers we have no worries when we are traveling. We just roam around without any. That is the reason why we have kept the name as Hakuna Matata. And Hakuna Matata is totally that means there is no worries about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now starting with a guest. So first, we'll talk to Nivi, and Nivi is a blogger, backpacker, and an artist. She's a curious travel soul who just loves to smell books and get high on foods. So Nivi, I would like to ask you, when was the moment when you felt Hakuna Matata really in your life?
There are a couple of instances, but I think lockdown, starting with the lockdown, I think that's one of the best experiences because initially when India went to a lockdown, I happened to lose a couple of travel projects, especially, and work-wise also there were promotions and other things in place, and obviously everything got stuck and there were a lot of things happening, and that's when I had to tell myself that the situation is out of hand and acceptance is the only way. So calm, Hakuna Matata. So that's like the kind of mantra that I have followed at least for the last 6 months, where whenever I felt very low because there's no travel, there's work-wise also not much happening. So during the low phases, this is what helped. But I think the first time I ever felt this is when I did a career switch. So I come from an engineering background. So I did information technology as my base. So I moved. So currently I work as a fashion marketer. So I did a career switch some 6, 7 years back. So I think that was the first time when all the overthinking and what will happen, what if I don't succeed, all these things were going on, and it kind of helped to sustain the moment and just take one day at a time.
Okay. So, like you said that before switching, there were so many of the questions in your mind that how will things go and what will you do. So, I just want to know, is that step really that drastic, or because it takes a lot to switch your career, and when you are from engineering or IT backgrounds, so people around you expect you to be engineers or work in these MNCs only as an engineer. So maximum they want you to do is they want you to do MBA and then work in the corporate only. So when you did the switch, so how much had you to console yourself that you are doing a good job or you are taking a good step? How much important is that point, and how did you did it to yourself?
I wouldn't say that I had to convince myself because I was not happy with IT. I'm not a tech person, to be honest. I did my graduation in IT, but that was not my cup of tea. I worked in MNC in an IT servicing company for initial 2 years, but then I was always craving to do something on the creative side. See, art and let's say creating something is what my calling was. So I kept looking out for opportunities, and as you mentioned, again, MBA was definitely in the pipeline. I did prepare for my exams, gave exams to see if I could join some MBA college, and then shift. But then all this didn't happen, didn't work out. I didn't get through the college that I really wanted to. So the brutality of life is on your face. There are only two choices where I can quit my job. So I had 2 years of experience by then, and I was in a good position in an IT company. But then, if I have to get into a field that I wanted to, I have to give it a shot. There's going to be risk anyway, right? So I think at that point of time, I really didn't think of whether I would fail or whether I would succeed. I just wanted to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, there is always a degree that is there to back you up. But then it has been a long way. So I started with a small agency and then moved to the fashion side. And right now I work with one of the top fashion houses in the country. So it's been a long road.
Okay.
Okay, so while you were changing your career, you were switching your career. So did you face any of the issues from your family side?
Of course, Indian families, right, have to be typical. Father was kind of supportive, but I think mother was not, more than supportive. I think she was very drawn back into what the society will say, especially with the relatives and friends. And I was dropping everything to go join a very, very small time agency back in Bangalore because that's the only place that gave me a job. So I just wanted to start somewhere, and they were paying me bare minimum. So it was all. It took so many months, honestly, to convince my mom. So finally, she agreed only on the fact that okay, if you're gonna be happy, then go try, go do it. So I think when travel happened in the later stages, the same kind of mantra worked. So she was kind of used to it by then. I think where I was always this person who wants to do something out of the norm. So yeah.
Okay, that's really great. So now moving forward. So now moving forward, we'll now switch to Lavina.
Okay, so if I give you a brief introduction about Lavina, she is an analyst, she is an entrepreneur. At the same time, she blogs about travel and culture on her website, which is called as Continue the Shop. Yeah, if I'm not, and she's been blogging around from last 6 years. So let's talk to her, and ma'am, I'll ask you the same question that how did Hakuna Matata is I'll if I ask you how is Hakuna Matata for you, what does that?
Hey, yeah. I'm sorry, I might have missed your question.
Yeah, so Malak was asking actually
Yeah.
that when was the moment when you felt Hakuna Matata really in your life?
There are a few instances actually. I think when you do something and you finally get to realize that moment,
Okay,
that's when
so
you
I guess
realize.
ma'am is having some issues. So I think we'll shift
Can you hear me
to some
now?
other speaker for a while, and when she's back, we'll again connect to her.
I can hear you, Lavina.
You could
Malak?
hear Lavina, yeah.
Okay. I think I might continue. Can't hear Malak.
Yeah,
This is really bad. All right. So I would say there have been quite a few instances of when you dream of something and you make it happen. That's when you realize that those Kuna Matata moments wherein you really don't need to worry about anything else, but in the moment that you actually put together and have like crave for so long. I think seeing the Northern Lights. Uh, uh, Driving to Iceland, like hiking on a glacier. All of these have been amazing moments that I've been blessed to have in my life. And I also agree with Nivi when she said, the pandemic has taught a lot of us, if not all, that you have to take life as it flows. You can't always keep fighting against the flow. And what like travel has always my to-go resource for everything. I think it's also taught me that the pandemic has taught me that it doesn't define me. So in the moment, going with the flow, accepting things as they come. All of these are good learning moments. Sometimes they take time, sometimes they're in your face. And I would say all of these are Hakuna Matata moments.
Okay, great. So I would like to know what is the best thing that you find about travel? Like when you
I
are
think
traveling, what is the best thing that you find about a place? Is it the place or the people, or just since you are no longer a part of that rat race we face day to day? So, what is the best thing?
I think for me, travel is about the people and myself because I realize the way people around me interact with me and I interact with them, the way I'm open to their culture, their food, teaches me new things about myself, uh, to what I'm open, to what I'm accepting, to what I may not agree. Um, and I think each place brings out a new sense of calm, uh, acceptance, independence in me, and teaches me so much more about the world we live in, which then increases how I feel about things. Uh, for example, like I haven't been to most parts in Africa, but I've been to Morocco, and to be honest, it isn't different to uh, what we like live every day in India. People knew Amita, people knew Shah Rukh. I was called Madhuri every 5 minutes, and at the start it was annoying, but once you once I like I said, once you let it flow, you're like, it's surprising to see the way they accept our culture, and because of the Madhuri factor or whatever, they were open to bargaining with me. They were like, oh, all right, fine, we'll give it to you for a good price. So all of these things sometimes work in your favor if you're more open to it and happy to let it go.
Okay. Yeah, so like you said that you've been to most of the parts in not to the most of the parts in Africa, but the other places, and you have found that there are some of the similarities between India and when you go to the foreign place. So, what is the acceptance factor that you see, like in India for the different parts of India, and when you go to any of the other places? For example, in Africa, so what is the acceptance that people around, how much do they accept the tourist, or the people who just come to see their culture and all?
I think people are very open to Indians. Um, if Indians do not behave too touristy, they're even more open to talking about their families, their personal lives, for that matter. So, but even if you are touristy and all you want to do is go to the place, see the place, and take a few pictures, that's absolutely fine as well. They do understand the buying power that Indians have. Uh, they also understand that a lot of Indians are happy to invest um, in touristic locations, and they're more than open to opening and sharing a part of their culture with us. Switzerland, for that matter, has so many visitors thanks to Shah Rukh Khan and movies again, so that they actually have pure vegetarian Indian restaurants just for tourists in places like Lucerne. And other touristic spots where a lot of movies were shot. If I'm not mistaken, there's also like a monument or something to Yashraj in one of the spots. So that's how Bollywood and Indians are popular. So we are very welcome as long as we don't make a noise.
Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Lavina. Now moving forward to Usha. So I would like to give a brief description about her. So she is by profession an architect, and since with the hectic professional life, she used to choose a short luxury vacation until she decided to be a traveler. So, Usha, I would like to know that with architecture and travel. So we have seen that most of the architectures they tend to go to many of the places like monuments and all, and they have so much of antique works around them. So how did you thought of coming to travel in that case?
Hi.
Hi all. Thanks for having me. So while I was busy building up my career, that's when I used to get away just for a leisure travel because I wanted to escape my office or my stress in the city. But I think sometime somewhere down the line, I got a little tired of doing the same thing for many years, and there was always this checklist where I was always wanting to do things in detail. So when I would go to Kovalam or I would go to Goa for a 3 days getaway, I wouldn't do much. I would literally have a massage in the hotel or just walk around on the beach and things like that. But when I started traveling, like I did do now for the last few years, I actually make a plan where I could explore the old city of old parts of the city. Let's say we go to Jodhpur, I literally stay in the old part of the city so that I can get up in the morning to take the sunrise shots from the fort. Then at 9 o'clock when they open the fort, I actually, I'm a sort of the early visitor so that I don't have to deal with the crowd, and I also do a lot of reading, and so that I know all this history of architecture that I did study during my course, but I did not actually get to see most of them. So I get now time to explore the history of architecture, the architecture per se, and a lot of nuances that go into making that history. There's a lot of culture, there's a lot of innovation, and there are a lot of stories. And interestingly, some of them are myths; they're not really stories. So they kind of weave so that the tourist gets impressed. So you kind of undo a little bit of learning, and then you do a lot of learning too. So this is how it becomes so intense while traveling now. It's not at all the way it used to be. So I guess this transition and the time that I'm spending in travel is much more rich and interesting now than it used to be.
Okay.
Okay, so which was the best part you liked, and which was the best part for you of India, and why? You have traveled, so which was the best
Well,
part, according to you?
I don't know if you saw my feed, but I am very partial to Varanasi because I've been there 7 times last 1 decade. And well, if you know why I named my handle Travel Karmas, you will understand there is a reason why I called it Karmas. And I won't get there now about why I call it Karmas and what significance it has with my life and travel. But favorite places as a South Indian, I grew all over South. I was born in Chennai, and then I studied in Karnataka, and then I'm an Andhra person, so I am now in Hyderabad, and yeah, that's my hometown now. But having been in the South, you would understand the temperatures almost the same in all the parts of the South. So I literally like to go to the Himalayas, and it's called Devbhumi, and I think it is Devbhumi the way Himalayas treats me, and the kind of learnings I have from Himalayas. So my favorite spot or area or region would be the Himalayan region. It could be Uttarakhand, it could be Himachal Pradesh, but that's from east to west. I would love to visit the Himalayas at least once a year. I do go in the last few years, especially so in the winter because we have extreme summer, and I would love to explore that extreme low temperatures, sub-zero temperatures. So I try to visit during the winter. So this is another maybe an intense thing, but still, yeah, this is how I do things, and that's my favorite, Himalayas. Yeah, of course, I love to. I think I'm a little partial to even waterfront, so I kind of noticed that I love Rishikesh, Varanasi, and recently I've been to Narmada Bank. So I think it's endless. I mean, India is so beautiful, so you get to see a lot. And thanks again to my kind of lifestyle I've been able to cover a little bit of uh, India. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so if you have even traveled out of India, so which was the best part according to you when you move out of India? So which was the best place you have been?
So I started my first country that I visited, and I think I visited it about 3 to 4 times now. Is Thailand, which is just exactly an extension of India, but in a very organized and very modern style, and it's culture rich. So I would say Thailand, if I were to escape for a little short trip, or not short trip, but less money and more value. But my favorite has always been London, although I visited it only once, and it's similar culture I found in Melbourne. So I kind of understand that I kind of like musicals, I like history, I uh, I like architecture too. So for me, of whatever I love, I could see and connect and associate when I visited London. Similarly, so with Melbourne, it had a lot of culture, which was so much so like London. So I would say about London. Yeah, I wish to revisit London again. In fact, this lockdown and this pandemic has kind of delayed our plans. I was on my way to uh, some parts of Europe, but kind of hop in London and redo things again. Probably certain areas which I missed the previous time, or things like that. Yeah, London would be my favorite.
Oh,
Let's say, or Africa, so I can't even comment. But yeah.
well, I have always loved the vibe of Melbourne just because I was born there. So yeah, I liked the vibe when I was there. So yeah. Okay, thanks a lot, Usha ma'am, for being with us, and it was really great listening to you. So moving
Thank
on
you.
to our next speaker, which is Bhavya. Well, if I give you a brief about Bhavya, she is a marketer and a traveler, and she connects with people with a philosophy, and that is the mainstream when she has to connect people. So, Bhavya, please tell me about it. Tell us about your stories or your travel stories that you have always liked, or tell me about the places that you have been in India.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks for having me here. And as my name suggests on Instagram, my travel blog says the Nerdy Nomad. So the nerdy nomad, how a nerd person turned into a nomad. So that's what pretty much my story is. I used to be a nerd kind of a child back when I was in school. I used to score like 80, 90 good marks, and that's when I realized I've been reading too much books, and I've not been, actually, I thought that, somebody told me that all the learnings doesn't come from the book. So that's when I started my journey, my travel journey. I took my first solo trip at the age of 19. I went to Pondicherry, and there I was living at a place where I could meet people from different countries. And after talking to them, there were people from all over the world, and I could connect with them. I could talk to them for the very first time, and that's when I realized I'm enjoying this. I'm traveling to the beaches. I'm traveling to the different, temples, and I was talking to different people over there, the French colonies I saw, and then I was trying different food. So, I mean, that was a very different, experience for me, because the books don't teach you that. I mean, the kind of things I was learning to do on my own. So I pretty much was liking it, and I know that I have to pursue it more. And that's when the travel bug actually got into me, and that's when I began my journey. And it's been 8 years, and I've not stopped till now. So, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. It's just the pandemic has stopped me. I'm caged now, and I feel really bad. So yeah, that's what my story is. By profession, I am a digital marketer. I've been working from past 4 years, and I'm an MBA in marketing. So yeah, I that's what my profession is, and my passion is to travel a lot. My passion is music, and yeah, so that's what it is.
Okay, so how do you manage your profession and traveling at the same time? Do you do freelancing or something, or you are
No,
into
no, I
some
work. I work
the
with an
government
ads
person?
agency. I work with an ads agency in
Okay.
Delhi, and if we talk about the topic that we have today, it's Hakuna Matata, and it's like my whole life has been a part of. I would not say that I have not been worried ever. When I was a child, I used to worry about, how much score I'm going to get. And then later on, when traveling happened, then, you would miss a bus or you would miss a train, or you don't have money. So you get worried about that. And if you're not performing in your passion or in your profession, then you get worried, the deadlines are there, the boss is going to shout. So I think if I look at the trajectory of mine, and I'd say that I have become a kind of person that worries less now. It's now I don't react to the worry the way I used to do, and thanks to travel, it has given me a lot of patience. Thanks to pandemic, it has given me a lot of patience. I've become a very calm person. I know how to deal with different situations in a different way. So yeah, so that's what I mean. Pandemic has taught me, and what my profession and what my travel has taught me. So I'm a different person
Okay,
now.
that's great. And okay, so tell me about the first experience and the feeling that you were having at the age of 19 when you were heading towards, you were going to travel. So how was it? Like every time, even if I travel, I have that different feeling. So what was that feeling and how it was going?
I was feeling like, oh my God, I am already there, because it was very difficult to convince the parents that, I mean, it was very new to them that our child who used to study and stuff, when she wants to go for solo traveling, what's wrong with her? Scholar Nana turned into a into a traveler. What's wrong with her? So I was like, no. I mean, the main task was to convince my parents, and I have been a pretty rebellious kind of person since, like, I traveled. I know what I have to do. I see myself as a woman who really wants to ace in all the aspects. I'm really a kind of person who. I mean, I've been living alone in Delhi since a long time. So it becomes very difficult to, manage your blog, travel, apply for leaves, and then manage your work. You have to be awesome at your work, and then write stuff, click good pictures, edit them, write about it, and then comment on pictures. There are so many people who want to talk to you. So managing everything, it becomes a very it becomes a different task. Then you have to manage your finances, then you have to manage your health, you have to be good with, you have to be socially good. So there are so many things that a woman, I mean, women travelers have to go. And I'm sure that all of the women who are here with me, women travelers, they're also go through the same phases in their lives. So I mean, it becomes very difficult, and that. But when you get that feeling that, I'm going to travel, it just goes away, and you feel already, that you've conquered it, and you made it halfway, and then it just goes away. You feel less worried, and yeah,
So you had a complete Bollywood wala thing when you were leaving the house.
I
So
I
yeah, I
become
can feel you now.
I romanticize things. Yeah, I like to do that.
Thanks a lot, Bhavya, for joining
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you. It
much.
was great hearing you. So
Thank you.
there are some questions that I really want to ask to every one of you because yeah, this matters. So what has been the role of social media for you all? Because what if there was no social media and then you have to travel? How life would have been for you without social media? Please tell me one by one. This is something I wanna even know.
I could start. So
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
I think traveling solo as a woman, it has certainly helped in terms of feeling secure, navigating places where uh, there's been issue with network or public transport, because I do tend to use a lot of public transport. So social media does help. I can reach out to people, I can reach out to restaurants or the local tourist information center via their channels. Twitter is amazing to connect with people, so that does help. But of late, I have realized that unless it is specified in a contract by a DMO, I will most probably not be live or post anything on social media channels unless asked of me, because it's really important to enjoy the moment. Which I had started feeling of late that I am not. It I do love taking pictures, so that I definitely do. But in terms of social media, it takes up a lot of time to actually curate something, to get it right, to put it out. It takes up a lot of time, and then you realize that you've lost the time you had over there, even if you may want to visit the place again. So all of my social media feed is pushed ahead. When I'm sharing updates by at least a week or so, um, and it gives me time to actually put out good content that way. So unless I actually have questions to ask people, friends, followers, you might not find me live at a place. So just my 2 cents.
Okay.
So I completely agree with Lavina
So
here. So when I used to travel, initially, I'm not really a person who used to be very social media savvy, to be honest. It just turned out to be that my kind of content started probably reaching out to people, and they found it kind of useful, and that's when it turned out. But I still have this policy where if I am traveling, see, I am also working full time, right? So it's not like I'm forever going to be on the road. So let's say if I take a 10 or 15-day break and go visit a place, I don't do a lot of stories from the place, and most of my posts are scheduled from my previous travels because I don't want to let go of the moment. That's exactly what Lavina said. That's so precious, where you are there to enjoy the place, not to keep clicking pictures and posting on Instagram. This realization took me quite in the early days itself because. I realized that what's the whole point of traveling? What's the whole point of going, sitting there when all my mind has to think on, okay, should I produce this content? Should I post it? So then that's where I chilled out saying, okay, you take the bunch of pictures or videos, whatever you want to do. You can get back home, you have all the time on hand, probably you can process it, think
Yeah.
how you present it. So that has helped me a lot. So I don't have to go under a stress or let's say under a pressure that I have to deliver everything that I am doing at the moment. Probably right from diving to eating, I don't have to record it. So yeah.
Yeah. I would like to add that
Shana,
yes, like I'm going to take 2 seconds here. I think as a
yeah.
content creator, it comes with time. You learn along the way about if you're thinking like, oh Lord, if I'm not on social media, if I'm not sharing this, what if I miss the moment? What if I've lost the time or the moment to actually capture this? I think it comes with practice, just like any other profession. Once you know what the goal of the campaign is and what you need to put out, all you need, it comes to you naturally. You know what needs to be done. A couple of pictures, the exact right shots, the exact right captions. You have it, you've curated it, and you move on. So something for people thinking of taking that up.
Yeah, yeah.
Over
Usha,
to
ma'am,
you.
your views on this?
So I don't come from this Gen Z crowd, so I would definitely have my own perception. So yeah, how I think I'm a tech dad. That's why, because I really can't do lots of things what they all can do, and how it has helped me, I cannot say social media has helped me much because, like I said, I don't come from that zone. But having said that, I noticed that I have a few friends who are have the same interests. So I have met the youngsters who like history, who also like photography. So we kind of connect on in certain areas, in certain places to explore together. So we have notes to exchange at the end of the day. So that happens. That has also happened because of the groups that I follow or the groups that I belong to, or they also come from. Having said that, I also do not understand how we, like some the other two ladies mentioned that. You can't kill the moment. Like, you get to see a sunrise and the blue
Exactly.
city in Jodhpur and the Umaid Bhavan with the sun rising behind the Umaid Bhavan. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to miss the moments. I would take pictures, yes, but I wouldn't bother, like, locate the camera, the tripod, and make sure that I'm looking and I actually wear the dress or the sari so that the Instagram looks nice and I would get so many likes. And I mean, the whole stories that are happening
Yeah, yeah.
behind that. I can't do that. And I would do, honestly speaking, there are a lot of youngsters doing that. I'm sorry to say, but even if the picture looks gorgeous, I would not even like it because that's not my style of travel. For me, that's not travel at all. And sorry to say, I belong to the age group where we think travel is travel. I mean, it cannot be about wearing clothes which one has to wear on a ramp or a shirt up has to wear in the Himalayas or somewhere. I'm sorry, I don't put it I mean, so
So
to
true, so true.
understand, I'm not being hard. I hope I'm not being too
No,
hard.
no,
No, no, no, that's okay.
absolute
So I
I
valid
think,
point.
wouldn't.
Absolute valid point. I
yeah,
mean,
so travel to me is very emotional. I mean, like Lavina said, I met so many people whom I never thought I would meet. It's like the universe has conspired that
Yeah.
I should meet this kid or this lady or this gentleman. And it's not always about I'm in dire straits and so they bail me out. It's also because the
yeah, yeah,
emotions you share, the stories that you share, and the memories that you bring back. And to be honest, the 6 months of staying home, which is a little crazy for a traveler, especially so that I've been away from home for most part of the last year, and I just didn't expect that I would be home for the next 6 months. But having said that, I also realized that I had so much time to look back at the content that I had. I never had time to make it like Lavina said. I don't do live, and I don't. Sometimes I do just to I mean, sometimes that's very small, like, Instagram live for about 5 minutes just to tell my friends, look, this is beautiful here. I am not dead and stuff like that. But there's so much content in my hard disk that I'm so happy that I could get time to even look at them and post them on Instagram. Some of them are very pixelated because they were not done with blah blah blah. But yet, I'm so grateful that I had this opportunity to look back and to share. And I do blog, though it's a micro blog. I do write so that
Yeah.
I mean, can bring some perspective to that place or that moment. So social media, I also know that when Lavina was speaking about the brief, I was like, okay, I still haven't got there. I mean, I would love to get there too, where people are actually working with you and they need your inputs as well as, I mean, it's a mutual way of barter system where your experience and their commercials work at some point. I think that's a nice thing. And going forward, I would love to work with some Indian people so that this is the right time where tourism needs impetus, and I would hope my experience
absolutely,
comes handy to somebody.
absolutely.
Okay, so moving on to Bhavya, tell your views on this.
Initially, my plan was never to go on social media and start a blog. It was never the plan. But during my college time, when I was pursuing my MBA, I got somewhat interest in photography. So that's when I started, posting pictures, whatever I clicked. I used to do street photography and then later some astrophotography. So I started posting my pictures, and that's when I started getting recognized. Some of my photos were being exhibited in some of the photography art exhibitions, and later on I was also awarded in one of the competitions organized by Rajasthan government. So that's when I thought that if I'm being recognized so much, why not use social media and showcase my work there. So that's when I started getting recognized. I started attracting more people, more like-minded people, and that's when travel was in me since last like 8 years. So I started traveling more. I used to see a beautiful view. I click that. I post it. I mean, people used to love it. So that's when I started growing on Instagram. And later on, I also started with traveling with those people. So that has given me amazing friends. You may say that I am still in contact with them. I have some good blogger friends with me. We support each other. I've created a good community, and we all we all support each other. We all support each other's work. We try to stay connected, and during these times we've tried to do this more often. I used to go live with them, and so that's what social media has been for me. It has been a great space where I could meet more like-minded people, and I do have future plans of going and traveling with them. So yeah, it's pretty good for me as of now. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so next
so I
question.
have this. Yeah, I'll just continue. I have one question I want to ask this to everyone. So whenever I travel, what I do is I have a journal. I write my daily experience in that, and with that thing, I click a picture from my Polaroid camera and I stick there. So, any one of you, do you ever write when you are traveling? Do you ever write your own journal? Because I write. So maybe I just want to ask this to everyone.
Well, I'm gonna take this one first. So, not just journaling, I kind of carry my small sketchbook around. So that's my way of capturing an experience or a place. So when I kind of like really like the moment, or probably a scene, or let's even say a cafe that I really enjoy, so I sit there and sketch, and I carry the postcard back. So that's one of my travel therapy, or that's one of my way to express. So that's a very personal thing. I usually don't post a lot of it on social media, if you see, because that's again it's just the way I soak in the experience. So yeah.
I
Loving.
if yeah, yeah. No, I like for me, I think the way I capture my travels and moments are via pictures. So I've realized over time is the more I like a place, the nicer my pictures are, and and you'll find me more. I also think the feelings that a place evoke is what I put down. So of course, depending on if I'm working or not, I have to produce content or not. I might tend to write about the place quicker than most places, but depending on the feeling that I get from a place, I will put it down in my notes. And again, depending on how personal that feeling is, it may or may part of um, part of a blog, so to say. So that is my way of doing things. Sketching takes me time, so not going to go down that route. Sketching, painting, I do like it,
So
but
next I
that's
yeah.
yeah, but that's my way of documenting my feelings and thoughts.
So,
Yeah.
so I
So for me, it yeah, yeah,
yeah.
sure.
So for me, like, I take pictures. I've been using my phone camera, or So basically, I my tagline is every pic has a story. I I love to take
Right.
architecture pictures. I like to take all kinds of pictures, but I basically enjoy taking candid moments. And those moments, when I look back, kind of take me back to the place and the moment and the story. And believe me, the picture does a lot of talking. Unless, I mean, I'm not saying I'm one of those expert photographers. I've never learned photography. I'm just self-taught. But what I'm trying to say is the way you capture a picture, the moment, that feeling actually describe the picture describes everything. It does the talking. I'm not saying it's perfectly, perfect for an agio or something like that, but it does say what I want to say. You can check some of my stories are there in Instagram, but not really great in quality, because I know today you have all these full frame cameras, perfect pixels and stuff like that. Mine look very pixelated, but then if you really go by the tagline, every pic has a story. I hope there it says everything what I want to say. And especially with history, I write notes because I know it's not easy to remember all the king's names,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
however your knowledge may be, but it's not easy because the kind of places that we have in India, there are many kings and
yeah,
many
yeah,
descendants, so you could get it wrong. So I kind of make notes about that. Yeah.
yeah.
But I would love to, kind of introduce some of what I learned from you today from the others. I should like to incorporate sometime.
So next, like I would like to say that when I feel for example, if I'm watching a sunset in Pushkar, or if I am walking on the beach of Goa, or if I am scuba diving or snorkeling underwater, then that feeling, I just feel it right away. Like I'm feeling it, because it's so different. I'm walking, I'm trekking in the Himalayas, and I'm feeling it. I'm meditating probably. Like it's like a meditation to me, because you're watching the sun go down and you're underwater. You're just looking at so many different creatures, and so I just feel it, and that feeling I think gets imprinted in me, and I still feel all those things that I felt back then. So it's registered in my head. So I don't think, I mean, and I write it when I'm actually writing the caption and sharing it with the people. So I think I write it over here, I mean, I don't use pen and paper much. I sometimes do. I mean, maybe like sometime 3 or 4 o'clock in the night, and I'm feeling like writing something, and emotions are all there, and I want to write something. I probably write back then, but I think it's all in my head as of now. All the feeling that I felt, all the beautiful moments travel has given to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask a question to all of you. So, as a person, how much do you think after you have started traveling, how much difference have you seen in yourself as a person? Like, for maybe for ninth or in fact till 12th, we are kind of dependent on our parents only, and we have to check for the permissions that should we go or should we not go or anything like that. And in fact, in the cases of places that we want to travel, we have to seek permissions of our parents. So once we are out of the house or maybe in colleges and all, so we have a free hold on our life. So how do you think, how much have traveled changed things inside you, like your thinking pattern or the way you have any approach to any of the thing? So how do you think that travel has changed these things in your life?
So, see, travel, I'm sure all of us do it. People who love travel will always go for it because of the growth that you see in yourself. Because each experience you will make you mold into a better person. I think I started appreciating life way, way much better once travel started. The gratitude that flowed into each time I went through an experience is amazing. I still remember when I did Northeast India, I landed in Manipur, and from there we went all the way to Nagaland and then Meghalaya, and we did the entire circle. And while hearing the stories or sharing probably a stay at the local homestay, the experience that it gives you is amazing. And then you feel so humble and you feel so gifted for the life. I think that's when the real growth starts. And also, it has improved a lot of thinking perspectives. It has broadened my horizon. I have become a more inclusive person. Maybe previous to traveling, let me be honest, I wouldn't be this open to topics or discussions or even, let's say, growth wise or community wise led initiatives. But right now, that space has been a lot explored, and that's one of the things that I best love about travel.
Well put, well put. Yeah, to add to that, I would say a couple of things that travel has brought to the fore has been gratitude. It brings about so much gratitude in you to see how people live, the struggles they faced. It also brings about independence, and you learn to trust yourself more to take decisions, live in the moment. But I think most importantly, live and let live is something that travel will teach almost everybody. You can't change things, you can't make people live on what you think is right and according to your beliefs. So being inclusive, like Sivi said, and learning to let go, and just enjoying and being in the moment is something I think every traveler goes through at some point in their life. So definitely something that has, these are the things that have taught me on my travels.
Hmm.
To add to that, I would say, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah, you're audible.
yeah. So you can also add by saying you only live once. I think you say YOLO instead. So make use of the best of what you want to do in your life. It's like I started uh, quite late compared to all the others. What I can hear from the forum, but what travel does to you is you can get to learn. You first you learn how to live on your own. I mean, how to survive, and also your self worth. You don't realize when you're staying home with people or your friends or family or colleagues or clients or whatever. This is some kind of some kind of a routine life. When you step back and you start traveling, you get to see something what you are. So yourself, you start studying your own self. And I think, when you start moving from point A to point B and meeting different people, your whole perspective of the same situation changes. So when you go back to your city and you start, when you go back to your work or your life in the city, you get to learn certain areas where you thought it was a problem, and then it doesn't. It is no longer a problem because travel teaches you that you don't have to be worried because there's so many things that are more challenging than what you thought was a challenge when you were at
True.
home. So I guess the travel has so much potential for self growth. I don't know if people understand. If you have problems, I tell people just go, just travel for a while and come back. You will get solutions to your to the problem may not go, but you know how to handle it. You'll know how to deal with it.
Well put, yes.
So that's how I look at travel, and I kind of push it on to lots of people who go through stress, especially in their life, and especially it's personal equations. And I just tell them you just go separately or go together, travel.
Yeah.
If they say travel is to live, yes, travel is to live. I mean, for me, it is live to travel, but yeah.
So yeah, definitely travel. As I mentioned earlier, that I wanted not to learn. And being a nerd child, I not only wanted to learn from the books, I wanted to travel because I wanted to learn more about life and the different aspects of it. And definitely, it has made me sufficient today. I feel more independent. The small things, how you handle. I mean, I got stuck in the mountains for 2 days because it was raining. I could not complete my trek, or I got stuck at a place because my ticket was not, confirmed. So small things matter a lot. You put into different situations when you're traveling, so your mind starts working how to manage yourself. I've become such a good person, I mean such a good at this technique of managing my own self and managing my whole money. So you become your horizon towards everything widens when you're traveling, and you don't much rely on anyone else. You feel that you feel very confident that I can do this because I've already was stuck in the mountains probably, so I could get through it. So I think there's no big deal in doing the small thing probably. So I don't think that that's what Hakuna Matata comes into picture, that don't worry about things. You've done pretty big stuff, so this stuff is not going to be anything for you. So you become more confident. I become more self-sufficient person and an independent woman. So that's what travel has taught me. Yeah.
Okay, so now moving forward, I would like to ask one of the last questions for today. So, what is the difference that you have seen in past 2 to 4 years in the travel industry, and also when you hear about travel, so what is the thing that comes to your mind? Is it the luxury travel or the backpacking thing?
Who's gonna start? Okay. So I'll go for it. So I am a backpacker. So it's not that I don't love luxury trips, but then when I started traveling, I started backpacking, and I have loved that experience. I've done, see, while you're taking on projects or farm trips, it's kind of luxury. So Lavina would know. So a couple of tourism boat trips have been really good. I've enjoyed it. But to be very, very honest, I like to go to the local people, to stay with them, to interact with them. So that's when your entire travel experience enriches. But when you are on a project, obviously there are certain deadlines, there are certain kind of content style that you have to meet. So sometimes you might not really get the kind of experience if you take your bag and just go out and explore. But I think somewhere I've learned to manage between the two. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the travel industry, I would like to add that I think there was a time when people didn't know what to do with their money. So a lot of it went to restaurants, cinemas, street food. But as spending power has increased and there's been such a boom in the way we consume social media, blogs, and the internet, people are open to traveling. And I dare say that for Indians, travel is also like a sense of accomplishment. And showing off. to put it simply.
True.
So people are now tending to use the money that they would spend elsewhere on travel. So I have seen a lot of Indians traveling. A lot of Indians traveling offbeat is what has made me smile in recent times. And in terms of how I travel, I guess it depends on what I'm looking for. Like currently, depending on the situation, the pandemic, I guess for me, just even having the option to actually go and change location just from my house to somewhere else, and maybe even just sit in, is absolutely fine. So it depends on what I'm looking for, but I do prefer local experiences. The more you get a chance to speak to locals, the more you get to know of the place, the culture, offbeat traditions, and even to taste the amazing food that they make. So I would say the default option is staying with locals and trying to get involved in activities that they would do there. But then it also depends. I might want to do a luxurious trip maybe sometimes, just to taste something different, so to say. So
Over the years, I mean, like you asked the question that, the past few years, I also noticed that you have options. Earlier, there were only the hotels, and I mean, to be honest, I think except for the Taj hotels or the Leela, I didn't even look beyond that. I'm just talking about till like 2016, but after that, I realized that you have so many options. Something called homestays came up, something called hostels have come up, and also Airbnb um, and budget hotels also have come up with the kind of certain themes and like where you have options now. Um, No, but that I can see that tourism travel industry in India is booming. You get to. I always travel. I make it a point to travel only in the off season because I can't stand crowds and it kind of spoils my holiday. Everywhere, people, people, people. Not because they're in the frame of a picture or something, but it kind of. I'm sorry to say, but I find it very stressful. So I don't. So I always travel during the off season, and I have seen even during the off season you get to see a lot of people. But if it so happens that you see people everywhere now, and it's become it's some kind of a fad or a fashion that everybody wants to see something new and put it on the social media. And because of social media, that particular place gets highlighted and becomes popular, and it becomes like the best place to go visit. I'll give you an example. You get lassi in Varanasi for 20 rupees a matka, small matka. You can even have it like 40 rupees. But there is this social media thing called Blue Lassi Store at Manikarnika.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe because my friend insisted that we should go there and have. I'm sure he's watching this. He may be mad that I mentioned this. He said, we're going to Blue Lassi shop. And I said, that's because it's a social media craze. And you won't believe there was literally nothing local about that lassi. He added all kinds of fruits and fragrances and flavors and you name it. And he sold that same small matka full of lassi with all that stuff for 120 rupees. That was the basic one. There was something for 220 with chocolate and apple and stuff like that. But then I don't want that. I mean, it's okay for once. Pictures, I made a video, it's there on Instagram. Yes, even I made an Instagram, but a video. But what I'm trying to say is, why is that social media travel is like that? I mean, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that travel at all? I mean, why are we making small things into a big thing? And I also noticed in this travel, young travelers, when they find a new place, they'll make it so trending, or they do not want to give you the location address because they feel others should not go there. Now that's being selfish. I don't understand either theories. But I'll share a few things what happened to me last year. But again, karma, okay, travel karmas. I don't know how many of you know a place called Hatgar.
Hatgir.
Hatgar is a small village town/town in Maharashtra. It's on the border between Gujarat and Maharashtra. Such a beautiful place. I have posted about Hatgar, so I'm not saying people don't go there. Please go there, but still keep it environmentally friendly. Eat local, support the local people, stay in their homes or stay in. Now there are enough places where they made toilets clean and nice, so you don't have to really be worried like it used to be, and help encourage the local travel. And why am I saying this on this platform? Because going forward, there are a lot of the people in this industry who have suffered because of the pandemic, and I hope that we can all, as travel influencers, travel bloggers, we could help the Indian travel industry, especially the ones who are not under the the foreign brands that are established in India and pretending to be there, but doing nothing for our country. I hope you understand why where I'm targeting, whom I'm talking about addressing, but I hope we can help there. And I have also noticed a small thing before I wrap up. I noticed, but it was again a coincidence that I had to stay for a day in hostel in Jodhpur. It was because my booking was for the next day, not the day I arrived. So the place where I was staying could not accommodate me, and I had to find for one night stay somewhere else. I stayed in hostel in Jodhpur. I'm telling you, it's one of the most beautiful experience I've ever had. They also have rooms for people like who do not want to stay in a bunk bed. They also have rooms, normal rooms, but they also have bunk beds where people can share, like 6 to 8 people in a room and stuff like that. More than the price, the nice thing is you get to meet travelers, you get to meet lots of like-minded people, you get to experience a stay together. It was a beautiful experience. So I think we should promote places like that instead of the luxury stay. So going forward, hopefully we can do something for our own, boosting our tourism in our country. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with Usha. I mean, hostel and hostel experiences, I definitely am in love with them because I am a huge fan of staying in the hostels, and I do that a lot. Whenever I travel, I make sure that I'm staying in the hostel because I feel safe there because there are other travelers and there are from different countries and from different places, so you don't get even bored and you feel kind of safety, safe over there. And talking about the industry, how it has changed. So, I mean, it's booming, and a lot of people are travelers now. Because I start getting I've started getting messages from people like, hey, how did you start your travel blog? I also want to become a traveler. How can I start getting collaborations with brand? So, I mean, that's not the right, way to go about it because then you're just doing it for the sake of it because you want to become travel blogger and you want to collaborate with brands. So, I mean, that's if that's the motive, I don't think that it's going in the right direction. I think one should travel because they want to and not because they just want to be a traveler. So that's what I think the industry is taking a turn, and which I really don't like. And talking about budget trips or luxury trips, I have been a part of both, and I enjoy both. I won't say that I don't like luxury traveling. I really like sitting in my bathtub and looking at the view. So that's I like both. But definitely talking to local people, trying different dishes. I mean, I never thought that I'd be trying this salty tea in Leh, and it was so yummy. I mean, people did not like it.
Yeah,
So it's
the
called
Kashmiri style.
yeah, Kashmiri style, yeah. So it's really yummy, and I would whenever I'll be going next, I'll definitely try it, and it keeps you warm. So there are different cuisines you try, there are different people you talk to, and you try to understand their psychology. And there are people who are living in such bad conditions. So I was in Waichin Valley in Himachal Pradesh, which is near Malana village. Like it's the last village over there. So there are people who say that snowfall happens, and then our homes break down and we have to go live somewhere else. So I mean that's a huge thing. People don't have electricity there, they don't have phones or they don't have TVs. So to learn from these people is a huge thing. So I mean, yeah, so living like a local and with locals and talking to them, learning about that stuff is awesome. So yeah, I definitely enjoy my bathtub with the view, but I also enjoy talking to locals and learning from them. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess here we are to the end of the show, and I would like to thank every speaker who joined with us, Lavina ma'am, Nidhi ma'am, Usha ma'am, and Bhavya ma'am, and that was really good talking to you all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much.
Yes,
Malav
thank
and
you
Priyanka,
for
for
you.
having us.
a
Thank
great
you.
show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. This was fun.
Yes, yes,
This
thanks.
is
And
fun.
nice
Yeah.
meeting all of you. And I had some
Yes, Nisha,
learnings too.
same.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice talking to everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much
And
for
there
being here.
is,
And
yeah, please go on.
yeah, so I would also like to thank all of you, and I hope that someday, if at least for one person, I will be able to travel with you. It will be a great honor because you guys have traveled so frequently and to so many places. So I just want to travel with some of the travelers who have already traveled to some of the places or who are open to everything. So yeah, I'll be actually looking forward to it. And just one more thing that our sponsors, they have actually given a giveaway. So five of the contestants, they will be getting coupons of 500 rupees each by just travel. So what you have to do is you just have to take a screenshot of this event and you have to share it on Instagram and tag chapter one on these. So any of the five lucky winners will get the giveaway. So thank you so much, guys, and I hope we'll meet soon.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
Thank you,
hopefully.
thank
You
you.
never know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend, guys. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye,
So
guys.